Okay, I want to talk about Green Book from 2018, directed by Peter Farrelly of Something About Mary and Dumb and Dumber. Quite a big change from. And there's Mahershala Ali and Viggo Mortensen as Dr. Donald Shirley, who's a concert pianist, and Tony the Lip. Viggo Mortensen is just an ordinary blue collar working class guy who's hired to drive him and be his bodyguard down the deep south while Dr. Shirley puts on a lot of concerts. Of course, this is the 60s, it's a different time. Barely anybody has a television in their house. Everybody's out in the streets. And the Deep South is rampant with racism. And Dr. Donald Shirley isn't just your ordinary black man, he's the most eccentric queer black man, uh, dressed in African themed regalia or clothes and delicate. So, his safety is at peril, and Viggo Mortensen, Tony the Lip, is tasked with protecting him along the way. So it's a buddy movie, and what I most want to talk about is there was a lot of fuss over the politics of it, and it was kind of a question of racism over classism. Viggo Mortensen is introduced as a blue collar guy living on what we would have called the streets. It's a cash society. Mass entertainment hasn't yet hit America, and gambling is a big thing. Doing deals, betting on how many hot dogs he can eat. And there's some mild cultural racism introduced early on. He throws some cups out when his friends come over to chaperone his wife while two black electricians are doing some work. And it's not overt, it's not confused, you're not clear how he feels about it, he's just going along with it. And the story rollicks along quickly. He's paying rent, living week to week, he's currently out of work and he takes this job. I think it's a spectacular film. I think it's a spectacular film for all those reasons we love film that we can't explain. I just love the characters and the friendship that blossoms out of it. And I think it was unfair to label it as a kind of a white savior film because it is literally a white savior film. Like he's hired as a bodyguard, and Mahershala Ali, Dr. Anshri, gets himself in some scrapes, and ultimately they find themselves both victimized by uh, people on different ends of the class structure, either hoodlums or bar owners that dismiss them, and a friendship blossoms to um, a common identity as a human being. America is explored beautifully, and the background characters are all really rich. I mean, as soon as you press play, you're transported back into the 60s. These characters are so vivid. And there was a lot of surprise that Peter Farrelly was able to pull it off, but there's some brilliant people behind it, none other than Steven Spielberg's DreamWorks. I mean, so you've got a first class script and actors, and it's all tinged in a light teal colour. Um, I took umbrage with the fact that an upper class man, race aside, belittles a working class man for most of the film. It is for most of the film because they're on the road. At first, he's dismissing him, he's not interested, and he begins to pass comments on the way he talks and acts and lives, his values. Now, these slight dismissive comments aside, Dr. Donald Shirley does in fact experience some really, really harsh racism from the police. So you kind of the audience leaned it in his side, but it wasn't about that. I mean, it was two people just getting through the world, dealing with the harsh realities of life and how people can be basically pricks. And they bond on it, finding that they're both stuck on the same planet. And in a big bad world, nobody's perfect and nobody gets through this life unscathed. And the friendship they bond is real. They actually are real people, and they became lifelong friends after it. And I just love that about it, even if it wasn't a real story. I think more stories should be told like this. Just find two characters that are from the opposite end of the spectrum, throw them in the pool together and let them survive. It's really rewarding, it's really easy to like, and I don't think it needed as much condemnation as it got. It's a brilliant feel good Hollywood movie about friendship and finding a way to identify with somebody you don't understand. Um, which is a big plight for a lot of people, especially when we've come through a time of recent identity politics. I was surprised it went over everybody's heads, but such was the vitriol of the phone and our overwhelming narcissism to be right all the time. We were just blind to its value. It has been compared to Driving Miss Daisy, which I will revisit. Um, I think that might have been a little bit more difficult to swallow, as Morgan Freeman was hired just to drive the old lady around, whereas Mahershala Ali did in fact need um, Tony the Lip to get him through that experience. And he had a noble pursuit, and that he wanted to bring his brilliant music to the people of the South to show them the kind of quality of human being that black people could be. And that sounds like a stupid sentence, but such was the naivety of the world. Um, Viggo Morton completely vanishes. I mean, there's not an absolute drop of Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. I mean, he just completely absorbs the character. He's put on a lot of weight. He's got a little pot belly, complete dad bod. The way he lumbers across screen and wears the suit, like, he's just absolutely fantastic. I've watched it a number of times, and there's a bunch of really rewarding scenes. One in particular where Mahershala Ali finally plays in a kind of ordinary working class bar down south. Well, an ordinary working class black bar, if you will, where that community goes. He plays the kind of rock and roll blues stuff of the time, and it just sets the screen alight. I've even watched that a couple of times myself. The way he segues in from his virtuoso piano playing to the 4x4 blues of the time. And I can't speak highly enough about it. It's probably one of my favourites. If you haven't seen it, you really got to check it out. Alright? Any comments, like and subscribe. Any film recommendations, just pop it in the comment section. Thank you.